Now, the National Council of Privatization is currently sitting to take final decisions on the preferred bidders for Nigeria's power generation and distribution companies. What should we expect? We are joined in the studio right now by Afolabi Olorode. He's head of financial advisory at FBN Capital. He'll be sharing his perspective on the process. Thank you so much, Afolabi, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
I think, of course, the build-up to this has been the controversy around the Benin distribution company in particular. We've seen quite a number of states not very happy with the process. Of course, the BP has come out to try and defend itself there. Yes. But your general views on the process so far, how it has played out?
Well, I mean, I think it's been a very good process. It's been very robust. If you've taken time to go through the RFP, the request for proposal, it's been somewhat a very, credible process, well written and well thought out. It's apparent that, the NCP and its advisors took on board, and the BP as well, took on board, the recommendations of a lot of the industry players. So on the whole, I think it's a very robust document, and the process thus far has proven, has gone relatively smoothly. I mean, the bigger controversies are around the discos, and maybe we should talk about that. I hear that my understanding is that the selection process is somewhat different. For the generation companies, it's really a case of technical bids before the financial bid, and the preferred bidder is the highest bidder. But for the distribution companies, it's slightly different, and which is probably why we're seeing more controversy. But can you just explain how that works? I think the very technical term I'm hearing about that is the aggregate technical, commercial, and collection losses, and that is the basis for the selection. Can you explain that? Yes, I mean, absolutely. As you rightly pointed out, for the generating assets, it's a two-stage process. All the bidders are taken through the technical evaluation, and there's a minimum score of 750 out of 1,000. Once you cross the technical hurdle, and then you move into the commercial. So for the GenCos, it's pretty straightforward, because on the commercial side, which is the second stage, it's essentially the highest bidder that wins the asset once you've been technically pre-qualified. On the distribution, it's a bit different, because the basis for the evaluation is on the basis of your aggregate technical, commercial, and collection losses. In generating power all the way across the value chain, from the generating companies to the transmission to the distribution companies to the end users, there are allowable losses involved in this. So the plan of the distribution company aims to see who can offer the highest possible losses on the ATC&T losses, which is the aggregate technical, commercial, and collection losses, who can be the most efficient. So there's a consistency test by the BP, which essentially tries to match your plan versus reality and the capex plan that you have, because it's all tied in. And there's a model called the MITO model, which essentially determines the price to the end user. So it's a game of efficiency in very simple speak.
Your view, do you think we may see any surprises? I think a lot of people say definitely there are going to be some changes, especially because we do have some people that have emerged as preferred bidders for more than one asset.
Correct. Well, I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, as part of the RFP, when the proposals were submitted, the bidders were requested, if you're bidding for more than an asset, to rank your preference. So we're seeing that play out. You'd recall that last week...
And that implies you cannot have more than one asset.
Well, for the distribution assets, you can actually win two, with the exclusion of Eco Distribution and Ikeja that are mutually exclusive. But you can actually win two distribution companies. So one consortium can win two distribution companies with the exclusion of Eco and Ikeja, as well as one hydro and one thermal.
Let's talk about the participation, especially for foreign investors. We know they're huge. I remember when the process started, we heard about Brazilian companies coming to the table. I think we've gone past that now, and it seems that very few of those have actually emerged at the end. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of the technical partners are actually foreign. So on that front, on the technical participation, we see a lot of foreign participation. But on the equity, it hasn't been quite the case. Perhaps some reluctance or some pessimism about the entire process. But I mean, what we see is over time, people are getting more comfortable with the process, and there's certainly a significant amount of foreign interest, both on the debt and equity side.